looking at the screen now. I'm seeing our live feed overlapping the Google Meeting one. So I don't know if that's what you wanted. It's different than last time, at least on my side. Yeah, there it goes. Looks
Good morning
better.
and welcome to the Tradinformed Trading Model live stream. This morning we are, as usual, testing the Excel trading model. We're testing it on the NASDAQ futures and we are testing on the 5 second time frame. With me this morning is, as usual, Ren Vallo. How are you, Ren, today?
Good morning. Good morning, Mark. How you doing?
Very well, thank you. Yeah, so we're down. We're down about 200 points last time I checked.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's the markets are opening down. We'll see
Just
kind of
about
rally.
200 points. There was some earnings, wasn't there? Negative earnings report.
Yep.
Snap was down 30%. Was that yesterday?
Yeah, yeah, and they're down a lot, and the market was up a lot yesterday. So we'll have to see. Maybe this will be turnaround Tuesday in the opposite direction.
Yeah, that's the thing. We had a really strong Tuesday. I saw a Monday yesterday, so Tuesday. Let's wait and see. Not looking good, but stranger things have happened. So we are testing this morning on the 5 second time frame. We're testing a momentum style strategy. As I mentioned before, we're testing on the E-mini NASDAQ. What we're doing is demonstrating a spreadsheet that Excel spreadsheet that allows you to develop, backtest, develop, and optimize trading strategies, and then to trade them on a demo so you can, for testing purposes like we're doing today, and then to test them and rather to trade them live in the markets. So I'm going to go through my usual morning setup now. So first of all, I've already opened this Excel spreadsheet and I've done it through Rhythmic. So we use the RTrader Pro, which is, we're not affiliated with it. It's Rhythmic's software trading platform that you can use in particular to trade the futures markets. But there is a lot more than that. But this is what it is particularly designed for. So the first thing you can see on the screen here that I've got two things. I've got a chart. That is my Rhythmic. See if I can open it up. That is my Rhythmic chart. Okay, not opening at the moment. Let's try it again. Rhythmic chart, which we're using as a way to attach this Excel model to the markets. So I might just start it again. I'm going to close down this spreadsheet and open up Rhythmic again.
Yeah, we
You
can
can
demonstrate
see.
the process.
Yeah, so I'm going to demonstrate the full process. We've still got 12 minutes before the market open. That is not crucial. We can trade out of hours just as easily, but we usually like to be there for that burst of interest, that burst of orders we get as the market opens at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time. So the first process, if you can see it on quite a small screen, top left there, I'm going to select Open the Saved Spreadsheet. And I'm going to select the latest version of the spreadsheet. This spreadsheet, by the way, is available as a download. It is completely free. It's a demo version, and there is a link below this video which you can use to download the spreadsheet, and you can test everything that we're doing today out for yourselves and see if this is something that might interest you. If you're interested in algorithmic trading, you're just automating part of your trading process, whatever you're interested in. If you want some help in that, some automated help, this could be something that would be of interest to you. So I have used Rhythmic to open up the spreadsheet, and we're already connected, and I can tell that by, if I go to, in a number of ways, but if I go to the backtest model, you can see data streaming in. And you can see we've just made system has just made a trade. We're not going to take that yet because we're not fully connected yet. So the next thing I'm going to do, the next stage you would do if you're doing this for yourself, is I'm going to go back to Rhythmic. I'm going to close out of this for one moment, and I'm going to go onto the Positions tab. And I'm going to reactivate the spreadsheet. I'm going to click on Create Live Streaming Spreadsheet Linkable Mode. And if you've used, it doesn't immediately make sense what that is doing, but what it is doing is it's linking this particular sheet from the trading platform to Excel. What just happened there is sometimes you need to do it a couple of times to make sure it's actually linked to the correct spreadsheet. And now when I go to this sheet, I know that it's already linked and it tells me what our position status is at any time, what trades we've had today. So we're almost there. So we're all connected. We've got data streaming in. The next thing we usually do, Ren, is we usually have a look and try and find a good setup for the day.
Yes, yeah, let's try to find our good setup for the day. And then we can enable trade.
Might be a little bit tough of what I've seen so far. The 5 seconds chart has just tilted upwards, but so far, so all the process is what I'm doing is just adjusting the profit target, the stop loss, the trailing stop. They're the three main variables here, and I'm going to open the formulas tab, and each time I make a change, I'm going to update the formulas. Now, it's not something you maybe normally do in Excel, but if you don't want the spreadsheet to be recalculating constantly, and you don't if there's streaming data, this is live market data, so it's coming in fractions of a second, you don't want the formulas to be updating continually under those conditions.
Another way that might work is if you hit update the rows of data, that button you have on the spreadsheet, does that issue a calculate as well?
It might well do, actually, yeah. Yeah, if it doesn't, that's actually a really good idea, and so there's something that we could easily do in the next version. So just about nothing we're doing at the moment is making a big difference, but I think let's roll with what we've got here and see what the market gives us.
Yep,
when
that sounds
we open. I think we know from experience now, we've done enough of these live streams that 20, 25, 30 pips, we can see that in no time at all. So
right, doesn't take much.
Slightly different setup for the time before the market opens to when the market does open, because we have larger bars and we have quicker moves.
Yes.
So I'm happy with the setup for now. Like we did the other week, we can change it if we want to. So I'm going to go to the Place Orders Charts tab, and I'm going to press Control E and Control E, and you will have seen there on the sheet that we've got these two cells go to green. That means we are enabled. That means we will now take trades. We've still got about 6 minutes before the opening bell.
Beautiful. Yeah. So now we have our strategy set up and we just let it run now.
Exactly. Yes. The reason we're doing it, let's reiterate again, the reason we're doing it on the 5 second time frame is because we want some action on this live stream. This setup that we've got here it's really optimized for intraday time frames, although you can use it on much longer time frames if you want daily time frames. You can just open it. In fact, that would be one way to use it, wouldn't it?
Yes.
To open it on the daily time frame and just have it running for a period of time before if you have a particular time of day where you open or close or change your position, you can let it do that, let it do all the work for you, and then just disconnect.
Let's see.
Is that something you think would work, Ren?
Yeah. So do we have an open trade now according to the system?
Let's have a look. No, we've got no trades at the moment.
Okay, so we're just waiting for a little bit of a rally to kick in, and that'll definitely happen. Here we go. We got our first trade.
Yeah. So we've just got our first trade, and you can see that. I'm going to zoom in a little bit to make it a bit easier to see. I know it's not always easy to see what's going on. I'm just going to zoom in here, and a bit more obvious, I can put my cursor on it there. You see we triggered a long trade. We're doing long only trading on all of these live streams. We're doing long only trading. There's no reason to limit ourselves to that, but at the moment it's just keeping it simple, keeping trading in one direction.
Yeah.
that particular strategy, that particular plan was working better when NQ, when the Nasdaq was heading upwards. Now it's heading downwards. It's a bit less profitable,
Yep.
but on the 5 second time frame, we do still get some strong up moves.
So Mark, explain when you see a reversal pop up under the long reversal. That just means that the price has dipped since we bought it, correct?
Yeah, this is saying that it's actually at the end of the amount of data we've got here. Yeah, that's not actually indicating a new trade. So what we could get, in fact, the normal condition to get a reversal would be literally if we had long and short trades and we got a reversal signal, it would mean we are the signal to close the long trade comes from the signal to open the short trade.
Right. Okay. Gotcha.
But we haven't got that, so it's only coming here at the end of the data. So in this case, it's not really signaling anything that we can use at the moment.
Right. It's just saying that the price has dipped a little bit since we opened it, essentially. There we go. We just closed out.
There we go.
Looks like we closed out due to time constraint, right?
Time constraint, exactly, yeah. So we're still 4 minutes away, or 3 or 4 minutes away from the opening bell. What we've got here is we've got a time limit, and as we've got no trades, we can just have a quick look at the difference this makes. So there's going to be a natural limit. To most trading strategies are going to have a naturally optimal length. It doesn't mean you can always find that perfect length, but there will be an optimal range of length. So it might be expressed in a number of bars. If you're trading on the daily time frame, it might be 20 days or 40 days, 60 days, beyond which the initial signal you get to activate the trade is no longer of much use. So there's going to be, after that, the best situation is to close that trade, lock in whatever profit or close out whatever loss, and move on to the next signal. And that's really how we're using it here. So after a while, the initial signal that we've had has been dispersed through time, and so this is why we're using a time close.
Yes. Yep. And so changing that can sometimes adjust how the performance goes, and we just adjusted it slightly here.
Yeah, we'll get fewer trades, and one thing it will do, or one thing it has done, in just demonstrating it here. I'll zoom in again, actually. Again, I appreciate for people on the live stream, it may not be easy to see the screen here. See, we're getting fewer trades, quite simply because each trade is lasting for longer before it is closed. So
yes, so it's either going to hit its stop loss or profit target if you don't set that.
Exactly, yeah. So that's right. So the closes that are active here are exactly that. The profit target, the stop loss, the trailing stop as well, to lock in the profits when the price moves in the direction of the trade, and then the time stop that we've just discussed. Yes. So I'm going to put that back.
Yeah, I think that it usually does help us, actually. I've noticed, especially on the shorter term time frames, where we do notice a bonus. When you put that on, it saves you from being in trades that end up going to their stop loss more often than not. If they don't perform in the first 20 bars, they usually don't perform.
Yeah, and exactly. And as I say, every type of trading signal, entry signal, is going to have a very, very short is unlikely to be good for most signals. Likewise, very, very long. So there's going to be somewhere in the middle, and it will vary depending on the type of trading strategy. We're using a momentum style strategy here. So all we're doing is having a simple crossover of a shorter EMA. Price crosses over a shorter EMA, which is also over a longer EMA. So we've got the price is moving upwards. We enter the trade.
Yep, and there we go with the opening bell. So let's see what happens here.
That was it. That's the signal. So opening bell.
Yeah, we have a tough market today. Usually Tuesdays are our best day, but today's a little bit rougher than most Tuesdays.
Not good to be down 200 points, is it? So let's see what happens.
And also we also have two strategies built into this sheet. We have the mean reversion one too. Do you want to talk about that a little bit? What's happening on the mean reversion strategy? Like, we're not using it today, but We have the ability.
Exactly. So yeah. So that's not active at the moment. This is just to illustrate the point that Excel is so flexible. So we've just entered a trade now. It's so flexible, and you can just do so many different things, which is why Ren and I have got together to build this template that you can use to hook into Rhythmic and basically to develop and test and then finally trade your own strategies. So we put two different strategies in here, one of which is a trend. I've described it as a trending following. It's a momentum style strategy. The other one is more of a mean reverting strategy. So when I'm talking about mean reversion, what I'm usually thinking about in my mind is something that is still broadly in the direction of a longer term trend, but we're having a stronger pullback. So we're going to have a pullback away from the dominant trend, and then we're going to enter, and hopefully the dominant trend will then reassert itself. So we just had a losing trade there. I think if we go back to the chart, we'll see there's been a bit of a steep sell-off.
Yes. Yes. So the opening bell was not very generous.
No. So there we go. Events can overcome things. I mean, what we're here to do is to demonstrate the strategy, how it's being disciplined on our behalf. We've already programmed the strategy, we've already developed it, and the strategy is going to be implemented exactly the way we've programmed it.
Yeah, now we're getting a little bit of a bounce, so we should be taking a trade here, I'm guessing. I can see the underlying market's making a bounce.
Yeah. So we're having some volatility, not surprising really. There we go.
Look at that. The morning volatility is kicking in.
Yeah. So we don't seem to have even taken that trade. There we go. Going into it now. Okay.
Yep, look at that.
So, wow, yeah, so we had a sell off, and then we had a bounce back. We're still 190 something, 200 points still down on the morning, but it shows you on this sort of time frame, any bounce can be easily big enough to trade, can be worthwhile trading.
Yep, it could be. Yeah. And so this is just for demonstrations, but it's really a good demonstration of how quickly this can trade.
Exactly.
And even trading from across the ocean, still the latency isn't that bad. It's happening in real time.
Exactly, yes. So we've sold out of that one. There we go. We're having some volatility this morning. Let's see what happens going forward. Yeah, latency is not too bad. 5 second time frame is very quick. I think I would personally be looking at something more like the 15-minute, maybe the 5-minute time frame as well.
Sure.
Half an hour time frame. You don't need to. The thing is, you don't need to monitor this. Once the algorithm is programmed, the model is ready to go, everything can be done. You can keep an eye on things, but you've made all the decisions, and at that point you can just let it run. 5 second time frame is really for the purposes of this live stream, but it makes it interesting, and we do get lots of trades.
So do we have any questions about how it all comes together? Anybody who's downloaded the spreadsheet and tried it, do they have any questions? Is there anybody out there who has tried it and has run into any issues or anything like that we could answer?
Yeah, that's a good point, Ren. So anybody that is using this, has tried using it or wants to use it, but is unsure about any aspect of it, let us know your questions on the chat box, or send us an email.
Since we're here.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, so we've just taken a bit of a hit on a couple of trades there. That volatility,
yes, yeah, I can see it.
Has caught us out. We're down 240 something points.
We're markets,
I think we know they're very jumpy at the moment. Got a lot of volatility.
The markets are making records too. We're seeing the market down for 7 weeks in a row, which is unusual in its own right. So we have a lot of volatility now. The morning volatility is even higher than it normally would be, because people are, general volatility is up.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's a record, is it?
Yeah,
7 weeks.
we're getting 7 weeks. Yeah, so we're getting into record territory here. If
Mm,
if we get into 8 weeks, it'll be pushing some of the longer term records from some of the bigger declines, like the recession of 2008 and 2001 tech crash too. So we're
mm,
getting into those types of zones where people are getting really nervous. So I think that's a
yeah,
pretty utility.
yeah. In fact, a lot of this current market situation is tech focused.
It
A
is.
lot of the selling, the Nasdaq is, I don't know exactly what it is today, but it's going to be well over 20%. Whereas the
Yep.
S&P still hasn't gone to 20% yet.
Yeah, I think the
Um,
Nasdaq's close to 27%. We're almost
yeah,
down to 3. It's getting down. It's really getting down there.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it's
Other markets around the world as well have had much less of a sell off, but it's, well, we've just had a quick succession. Let's just have a quick look at what happened there. Quick succession of trade, and I think we're back in another trade again. Yeah, so here
wow.
we go.
We hit a stop loss pretty quick. There's no way a human could take that quick of a trade.
Yeah, so we've got our stop loss in there, protecting our capital. It, as I've already mentioned, it imposes the discipline of that. Sometimes even the best of us might think, well, I might just give this trade a little bit of room. But if this is how you've
Absolutely.
developed this,
I've done that.
sorry,
I've done that.
yeah,
Where I'm
I
like,
think we
well,
all
I'll just give
have.
it a couple more minutes.
Yeah, a couple more minutes. I'll give it a little bit.
What could go wrong?
Sometimes it works out. Sometimes it doesn't. But if you've developed a strategy, you've tested it, and you've got a certain amount of stop loss, it's a good idea to trade it with that same amount of stop loss rather than coming up with a new system on the fly.
Yes, yes. I mean, what could go wrong?
So yeah, we've just hit another stop. Well, we knew this might be a challenging day. It might
Oh,
well be.
it's challenging. I think no
We
matter what you're doing, you're gonna have a hard time today.
yeah, it's gonna, well, unless you're trading short. So
Right.
maybe it's a day for short trades.
So I
That's
guess as a user of the spreadsheet myself, maybe we should put in a short strategy for the fun of it. But of course, if we do that, then the market will be going up for the next 7 weeks. So
yeah, that's it. Yeah. So Ethan, hi Ethan, good to see you here again.
welcome back.
Um, just wondering, is there a maximum amount of rows of historical data that you can use before the backtesting model starts to slow down? Well, this is a very good question, actually.
It's a
So,
very good
well,
question.
first of all, I could just say a couple of general principles. So, it's generally better, in my view, to allow a larger amount of data for your testing. So, you may want to put in 10,000 or maybe even 15,000 rows of data when you're doing your backtesting because speed is not quite as important, but it also gives you a larger sample size. So something that is appropriate, an amount of data that is appropriate for what you're trying to test. Is there, you can use, yeah, the live model is really a separate situation. We're just saying 1,000 rows, but I don't think there would be much problem if you wanted to have a bit more than 1,000 rows. I would say, on a general principle, in my view, you probably want to put as little amount of data in as you need for the for the live trading. So you need enough for all the calculations. You'll need enough processing time, so your indicators have got to a stable situation. Any other thoughts about that, Ren?
Yeah, absolutely. So you're looking at if you're recalculating all the data every single time with 1,000 rows of data, it takes a little less than 1 second to do that. So it creates a little bit of latency in your trading. So if you're trading on a short time frame like the 5 second, you're going to notice it. I think it becomes a lot less important if you're doing a 30-minute or 15-minute or even a 5 minute time frame. I think that you could probably put in as much data as you wanted to. I've calculated even 100,000 rows of data, which is about as max you can do. About the most I've done, anyways, 100,000 rows. You can do that within a 5 minute time frame. I mean, well, obviously a lot quicker than that. So you could literally do, I think, a model that would work on that time frame if you wanted to, have that much data. So, but for the short-term trading like this, what we're demonstrating here, I think 1,000 rows is about max because it takes about a little less than 1 second to do the calculation. So it keeps running that calculation. So unless you have a very powerful computer, you probably want to max out at about 1,000. But yeah, if you had a more powerful computer and you wanted to run a slower time frame, I don't see a problem with going with more data. How about you, Mark?
No, no, absolutely. I mean, my idea for this is that you can easily switch between, okay, say you have 20,000 rows of data for your backtesting, but then, okay, you're going to switch to live trading mode, click a button, update the data, immediately it strips out all but the most recent 1,000 rows of data. You want enough so for the calculations, maybe enough to see the recent history, but that's all you need. As
Yeah,
Ren was just saying, less than a second of calculation time, the more data will start to add onto the processing time.
it does. And I guess really ultimately what you're doing is trying to figure out which strategy you're going to use so that it's kind of like a one-stop shop. So once you, like the morning, we do a really quick thing in the morning where we're kind of picking through the numbers, like what's our profit target, stop loss, time stop, and we kind of look at the chart and say, okay, this looks pretty good for us. So it's kind of the same thing. So you would be doing that with the larger data sets before the market opens or like the weekend. And then once you've made your decision, 1,000 rows of data is plenty to calculate all the different indicators that we use, even like, more complicated ones like, you could do RSI or any of the others that you like with that's plenty of data for that. And also to get a display. So we're also showing a little bit of a display on the screen. So that's really good. So on the 1 minute time frame, you're looking at basically 1 day's worth of data if you're doing a 1 minute. So 1,000 rows gives you quite a bit.
Yeah, so Ethan's next comment, it's multi-time frame analysis makes it slow. Yes, okay, yeah, no, I certainly would agree with that. If you're using that just for your back testing, okay, it is frustrating if it's slow in your back testing, but you still have more time because it's not time critical. You want to, for your live trading model, just strip that and just keep the minimum you need for your analysis. So yeah, anyway, thanks for the question, Ethan. Great to see you back here again.
Good question.
So the market situation is we're falling down. I haven't seen, we're down 270, 280, 280 points. So it's a bit of a sell-off again. Potentially we might be testing those lows. I have got that CME chart, which I'm just going to put on.
Yes, yeah, the CME chart gives you good reference points.
Yeah, so just to see, add the context. Okay, there we go. So, yeah, so we can see we had this, technically you would say this big dip and this strong recovery would say we've got a lot of support in this area. At the moment we are drifting back down into that area, so we would hope for another similarly strong bounce to prove we are about to start a new uptrend, if indeed we are about to start one.
Yes, yeah, hopefully. I mean, this pattern that we're seeing here where we tested the lows, we broke down and then popped back up. A lot of people like to look at that as like a potential reverse head and shoulders kind of like support pattern. So there's a chance that we could see a bounce from here. But falling back into the support zone again is a little bit nerve-wracking, I think, for most long, trades. And so you see our long-only strategy suffers a little bit in this environment.
Yeah, I think that's right, isn't it? Yeah, we would like to see a bounce from around these areas. As you say, reverse head and shoulders pattern is possible. We're not trying to talk up the market, just give a view as to whether there is a chance of of making a base around these areas. It looks to me there is a chance, but equally there is still a fair chance we could go lower.
Yes, absolutely, Mark. Yeah, it's kind of a very, very touch and go market these days. One day up, one day down, and Turnaround Tuesday doesn't disappoint with the name anyway. It turned around. Yesterday was such a strong
rally. It turned around in the wrong direction, yeah.
It's the wrong direction.
Okay, so let's go back to the model again. So at least it would seem the pace of descent, should we say, for the market has slowed down. And let's see if we get some more trades. So Ethan, yeah, does the backtesting model check if entries are hit before a profit target or stop loss are hit? So what it does do, and Ren, you can correct me here if I'm not getting this correct. What it does do is, if I'm not answering this question correctly, what it does do is check if there's actually a position in the market. So of course, long and short trades are exactly mirror opposites, whether it's whatever's triggering the short trade, whether it is a stop loss or entering a new trade in the new sell trade. So it does have to know what the current situation is. So it has to know whether, if we have a sell order, whether we're already in a trade, in other words, we're net long, or we're already flat. And if we have a sell order, then we would of course go net short at that point.
Right.
I'm not sure if I answered that correctly. I'll read it out again. Does the backtest model check if entries are hit before a profit target and stop loss are hit? Ren, have you got any other
So yeah,
ideas?
I would say yes, that's correct. So we basically check to see if we're net long or net short in the model sheet that you're downloading. If you've downloaded this one, it comes in with the ability to check the position sheet, which then will tell you if you're net long or net short a position. This particular is long only, so we won't take a trade if you have you already have a position open or you have no positions open. If you were to change this default to a sell, it would not sell currently because it is looking for only long trades. So it's going to say if you have 0 positions, it's not going to go net short. It stays net flat or long only. Very minor modification if you wanted to go there, but we monitor the positions sheet to let the algorithm know that you are in one position or another. So if we wanted to add a short position, we would just then look for net short, flat, and then long. So currently we're only looking for 2 conditions, which is flat or long. So that's how it works. Hopefully that helps.
Yep. Okay. Great. So hopefully that answered your question, Ethan. Yes, the model does need to know, because of course there is otherwise there's the risk that the model can get out of sync with the trading account. That's why, if you saw the start of the this live stream, what I did is I made sure I linked the positions in the trading terminal in my in the RTrader, Rhythmic RTrader, to the spreadsheet, so that it has all the information. It knows what our position is. If we're at the moment, we'll either be net long by 1 contract or flat. But of course, in the real world, and certainly going forward, we could be multiple contracts long, we could be closing one, we could be going short. So the model needs to have that information, and so that's why it's important to link them.
Yes, and it's very simple to change that too on the sheet. You could change it to 10 contracts, and then it would allow you to take up to 10 or whatever your limits were. But yeah, we just basically, it won't take more than you dictate in the spreadsheet. So that's already available to you today in the download. So that works.
Yeah, exactly. So if anybody's watching this live stream or on playback, this model is Excel-based trading model, which you can use to backtest, develop, optimize, and then finally trade your strategies in a demo account, paper trading account, which we are showing on the screen at the moment, or indeed in a live account. So if you would like to test out this spreadsheet, you can download it for free. Link below this video, so please do that and let us know if you have any comments, feedbacks about what you would like to see in this going forward. So we're going to end the live stream fairly soon. Anybody, Ethan or anybody else on the live stream, please hit any questions into the chat box. Let us have any thoughts or questions. Market still seems to be heading lower. If anything, I think we've gone at a slight, we've taken losses at a slightly lower level than the underlying market, but it has been a tough one to trade this morning.
It has. Yeah, there's not much you can do with a long only strategy on a day where it's just selling off pretty strong. So
right. Or this type of strategy. This is a momentum strategy, so we are looking for momentum moves to the upside. There needs to be some follow through for this strategy to take profitable trades.
Yes. Yeah, and today we're just not getting that. No follow through at all. 1 bar up and 2 down.
Yeah, we're not getting anything like that. So we just sold another trade there. So while we have been chatting. We actually just entered another trade here again. So it really doesn't take much. A very small pullback and a new move to the upside is enough to get us into a trade. So I've just taken a new trade. I'll zoom in again on this. You can see the data flowing into the model, and every 5 seconds a new bar of data is added to it. Calculations are made, indicators are calculated, and then the trade signal is passed back to the Rhythmic platform.
Yep.
Okay then, so thank you for everybody that has been here on the live stream. We're going to be holding another one next week. We're looking forward to any comments. Ethan or anybody else on the on this live stream, please get in touch with us if you want to have questions, want more information, and we'll be happy to respond to that and develop this further to make it as useful as it can be. Once again, it's free download. If you haven't already tried it, you can easily do that.
Well, thank you, Mark, for hosting. And if anybody has questions, they can email us too. So yeah, or wait till next week and catch us on the live stream.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, thanks, Ren. Great to have you here again.
Yep, you too. Take care.
Okay. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.